Hi, welcome back. This is still Scott Wyman. This edition of Colleague Basic Navigation is going to go over working with forms. I call this Form Basics. So let's take a look at working with forms. So as mentioned earlier, the forms available to you is going to depend on your access. For example, me working in HR, I don't have access to virtually any of the student forms. And I have view access to a few HR forms out there because I don't do any updating or reviewing or any of that stuff for employees. So I have access to only 2 or 3, maybe 4 forms. So what I've done for this training is I've created a training environment and I'm using simulations. So I'm not actually in Colleague for this. So there are 4 types of forms in Colleague that you may encounter, and each has its own identifying icon. The first one is the maintenance form. So you'll see this edit pencil icon. With maintenance forms, users can add, edit, and delete form data. Okay, that's how they go in and update or add new information in a form. You have to make sure you're in a maintenance form. Then we have the inquiry form, which gives you the eyeball. In other words, you can go in and look at it. With the inquiry forms, users can view but not change any of the form data. The third is the report form. With report forms, users can generate reports that can be printed, hard copied versions of the reports or of the forms. And then the fourth type is the processing form. Processing forms start a program that manipulate a record or group of records in the background for later use. Okay, you don't see what's going on in the background, but something's happening that's going to be used later on. So just a quick review of the 5 different applications in Colleague. To find out what those are, we're going to click on the Form Search button. Remember last time we used the People Search button. So now we're going to go to the Form Search button, and you'll see that it's now highlighted. By going to the Navigate area, you'll not only see the different areas, the applications listed up here on the top, but you'll also be able to see what forms you have access to. So as you can see here in the utilities area, I have no forms available, so I can't do anything in the utilities area. So let's move on to the core area and see what I got. So here in the core area, you can see I have access to the person demographics form and the custom core processes form. These are the form mnemonics that I mentioned earlier, okay? Custom core process is XCore, and the person demographics is DM. Those are the mnemonics for those 2 forms. So as you can see, I don't have access to a whole lot here in the student area. 1 form, the person demographics. And here you can see I have access to the general ledger and purchasing. This is where your personnel records are stored. Your pay records are in here. Pretty much anything that has to do with personnel, okay? All right, so if I jump back to the core, you can see I have access to the person demographics and custom core processes. Those little arrows or chevrons to the left indicate that there's more available to see beneath that 1 form. Okay, these are parent forms, and there are subforms listed underneath that. So let's see what I can find nested beneath the person demographics form. Oh, look at all these forms I have access to. Okay, all the forms, and they're all of the mnemonics that go with the form. Okay, so if I ever need to go to the person addresses form, I can just search for ADR up here in the search field. If I need to go to the biographic information, which we're going to look at here in a little while, I can type BIO in the search field. Okay, easy stuff. Easy stuff. Again, you're not going to get anything specific out of this. This is a basic navigation course. Job specifics will come from your supervisor or a coworker. So let's open one of these forms and take a look. The name and address form is a fairly universal form. A lot of folks here on campus have access to the name and address form. It gives you information about the person such as, I don't know, maybe their name and address. So let's click and see what happens. It opens a blank name and address form. So you can see here behind all my gobbledygook some of the fields that are associated with this. But it also gives you a person lookup dialog box or pop-up. So what you would do is you would put in a person's ID number, social security number, or last name, comma space, first name here in the person lookup. Click OK, and then it'll find that person for you. So now that you know how to navigate to the different form application areas, expand form groups, and open forms to get the lookup box, where you would search for a specific person, let's look at some review questions, and then you can move on to the next lesson. Utilities is one application in Colleague. What are the other four? If you said C, Student Core Financial and Human Resources, then you are correct. Which form type allows users to add and edit form field data? If you said maintenance form, then you are correct. CTC employees have access to all Colleague applications. They do not. You'll have access only to forms in areas where you have a need to be there. Which application holds the shared data in Colleague? If you said Core, then you're absolutely correct. You can find a list of available forms in which area? Navigate. It's in the Navigate area. That's going to give you a list of all forms that you have access to. All right, see, that wasn't too difficult. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next lesson.